All right, and we are live. Hello, Justin. Just my 2 cents. Aaron the dog here with a special guest now. Used to be not just a regular guest, but Lewis of Norton MMA is joined me on the special Monday breakdown of the podcast 282 from Las Vegas. Amigo joining us from the back. But Lewis, how you doing, man? It's been a while.
Man, good. Just sitting back, enjoying life at the moment. But no, last week's card was really good.
Oh, it's
I
great.
just want to say one massive thing. That Sergey Pavlovich is. I said it 2 years ago. Watch out, because it's like fighting tin cans, but you can
Mm-hmm.
see the crispness of his shots. He's
Yeah.
just he's leapfrogged some people with that. He made Cyril Gane look a bit crap.
I mean, he's making
Take Cyril
Ngannou look
Gane
like
3 or 4 rounds,
he's
whatever.
making Ngannou look like he lacks power because
Oh
Pavlovich is
man, yeah.
fighting guys even shorter than Ngannou, and I mean everything. Yeah, exactly. Justin Lewis is here. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
man.
very happy. But
I wouldn't
yeah,
mind seeing Pavlovich
Pavlovich.
v Aspinall. Aspinall versus
I
Pavlovich for the
mean, I
title.
just want to see Pavlovich in the second round. I know that's not
No,
fair. I know that's not fair, and it's like he's either kill or
give
be
him
killed
Gane.
so
Give him
far.
Gane then. If you give him Gane, he'll probably hit the second round.
I mean, it's really interesting seeing him, though. He's definitely something needed for the heavyweight division. And with each performance, we're seeing John Jones get further and further away from ever fighting MMA again because I don't think he's going to. So I really don't care
No,
about John Jones news at all at this point. Speaking of not caring about it, return of Darren Till for this card. Yay. I don't know if he's going to make it to a fight card. We're doing this on Monday. So I'm sure by Wednesday, we'll probably get some news that Darren is, not feeling well or something. But in all seriousness, actually excited about this card. Jan Blachowicz taking on Magomed Ankalaev here in the main event. Jan, or Jan, as I call him. Always will call him Jan. He always will be Jan to me. Good, very good main event. Weird how it came about with Yuri here just getting stripped like really quickly, claiming it's the most serious
did
shoulder
he strip
injury.
or did he give it up?
I don't really know. Either way, though, like he has a shoulder injury, claiming it's the worst shoulder injury Dana White's ever seen. Whatever. That's just used for the promo, pretty much. Like the worst shoulder injury ever. Would be no shoulder, but yeah, it is a bummer. But Jan
Yeah.
Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev. I feel good about this just because I don't think Magomed had earned that title shot yet. I know that's rough to say, but this I know 205 is not a great division. I get it, but it's still a UFC title shot. And for me, Magomed is like, we're gonna get to it. I'm
Would
not
you have
as
replaced Magomed with Glover
yeah, of
and given
course.
Magomed a different fight?
Of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
Magomed doesn't deserve a title yet. Period. Like, and he doesn't deserve to be a 3-1 favorite over Jan Blachowicz. I'll just say that right off the bat. These odds are insane on that fight. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. Last week was a really, really strong card for us for sure. 8 underdogs, I think, cashed on the card last week. And yeah, it's bad news for the echo chamber, good news for the independent ones out there. Not saying you always have to be independent to pick the dogs, but last week, I mean, we had Ben on the show with Brandon, and we like agreed on I think 2 fights the whole card. I was like, this, card, but it was like 2-1 every single fight. And that makes sense. I think this is another really close card. So we'll go ahead and get started. Timestamps will be in the comments as always. Starting with a short notice replacement here, Ronnie Lawrence, who is just becoming a pullout merchant for all sorts of different reasons at this point. I am so off the Ronnie the Heat Lawrence bandwagon. It's not even funny. I really thought he was going to be something after he beat Jose Johnson on the Contender Series, but I just don't think after getting beat, he doesn't seem to have it. But either way, Cameron Simon here taking on the South African 21-year-old uber prospect, I would describe him, but still a 6-0. Taking on Steven Kozlow here. Cameron beat Josh Wayne Kim on the Contenders Series. I'll say right off the bat, Wayne Kim, not that great. of a fighter, but had a good name there. And Stephen Kozlow, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu guy, Obi-Wan Shinobi the Pillow is his nickname, 25 years old, out of, he's fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, player, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt is what I'm trying to say. 16 straight wins going back to his amateur career, lost his amateur debut to Luis Gonzalez and went off to go on a good run, mostly a grappler, as you can see. Got the Luis Gonzalez win back at the end of his amateur career, and then as a pro, hasn't faced a good level of opponent, but he's putting these guys away. Pretty looping shots. He was supposed to face Martin Day back in April of last year, so clearly he's been kind of working up towards getting an opportunity to get the higher level. Probably was heading towards maybe a contender series type of opportunity, and now he's facing a guy in Cameron Simon who he looked pretty good on the contender series, pretty straight, accurate shots, looks well-rounded. So 5'8", good size, 21 years old. I mean, he's very well-rounded, but again, other than Josh Wayne Kim, hasn't faced a great level of opponents himself. I mean, if this fight is on the feet primarily, Cameron Simon's going to just have the straighter, more accurate shots, better power, more well-rounded and everything. I mean, Stephen Kozlow still is working construction. He's been growing weed. Watched an interview with him because not a lot of his fight tape was available. So I do go to kind of interviews. James Lynch was able to do one with, I believe, MMA Sucka on YouTube, where Stephen was talking about how he's, still a construction guy and he's getting ready to get married and he's not sure if he wants to be in MMA full time. Those are things that are definitely worrying for me. He's got that really good jiu-jitsu. It's sub or bust for him. Cameron Simon, for me, though, is just the real deal at 21 with the type of backing he's got with his training, now training in the States. He's getting better and better. I mean, Stephen Koslow's sub or bust. Everywhere else, Cameron should take it. Cameron's been preparing for this fight. Opener here, but I like Cameron. Stephen could sub him, but yeah, Cameron for me. Keeps this on the feet where he should have no trouble, keeps a good distance, and probably puts him away by TKO.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good summary, to be honest. I don't see why the UFC keeps putting these sort of guys in with cool experience. I really don't like it. It's like putting Luke Riley into the UFC right now. That's the kind of level I put him at. And they've got great highlights. I would actually argue that like someone like Riley has way more experience against better people than Cameron Simon here. But I don't know what it is, but just the hype of them they get put in. I think Kozlow is an absolute wizard if he traps your left arm and he gets
Koslow's got sick jiu-jitsu and it's pure 10th planet, very unconventional.
Yeah, and it's he knows the game plan. Unless I think he's going to get Simon down. I think Cameron's going to have a real troubling time if he does hit the mat. I think he's very basic when he hits the mat. Very basic. I actually like Kozlow in this. I think it's a slight upset, but I massively rate his jiu-jitsu. I don't care if he's all the comments of like, I'm not sure if I want to do it or not, but I wasn't impressed by Cameron. It took 3 rounds to beat a very average Josh Wayne Kim. I know he left. It was very precise, precision shots, but they're not going to matter if the guy's it's on the mat. And I think Stephen's good. I think he's underrated.
Yeah, I like it. And this is a pretty big upset, minus 275 on Cameron Simon, the 21-year-old. Both these guys 6-0. Stephen has much more experience on the amateur level, too, against high level of opponents there as well. Again, a good sign with Stephen is he was trying to get to a fight with that UFC level of opponent in Martin Day. He was, I look at who you're trying to schedule against, and you can only fight who you fight, but still.
I think Ronnie Lawrence would have absolutely smoked Cameron.
Oh, personally. I agree. That's why
it wouldn't have been a competition.
Yeah, but Stephen Kozlow plus 230. I mean, it is short notice, so that definitely is a factor here. But a construction worker equals man strength. Moise says, I get scared. And then Justin says, I get scared betting on the other kid because his face looks young. He's got the face. His face mash in a few months ago. Hopper the name. This dude on the left looks the same. Okay, Justin. Sometimes I really need to read your comments before I put them up. But I will say shout out to Moise earlier. I was talking with him about this fight. He pointed out Cameron Simon. Look at how long and thin his neck is. Is it
man?
weird?
Yeah.
Like
he's gonna roll for the anaconda.
it really looks
Especially
like he's gonna
no
get
gi
choked.
training only. Yeah, I don't
And-
think Stephen Koslow's ever put a gi
And
on.
just
So.
to kind of build off your comment about having these young, inexperienced guys come in and why, why are we keep doing this? A little name from like a couple years ago that was a uber hyped prospect coming into UFC. Was it Draco Rodriguez? Anybody remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, 21 years old, incredible hands, great jiu-jitsu, exciting, won a ho-hum fight on the Contender Series against a low-level opponent, and then came in, struggled, got cut. You know where he's at now?
Is he retired?
BKFC prelims. That is bare-knuckle fighting prelims.
Man.
So that's what – I'm not saying that's what's going to happen with Cameron, but, there's no rush for these guys, and as much as I love the Contender Series, this is what's happening as a result. Kozlov is 25 years old, 22 fights when you include his amateur career.
Yeah,
and he is
10
a
fights
jiu-jitsu
amateur. Yeah.
He's a jiu-jitsu player. And look at the guys he faced at the amateur level: 7-1, 5-1, 8-1, 8-2.
He also went decision with him. He can strike. He just doesn't want to, which is smart.
This is definitely one
got you to the dance,
Yeah, this will not be in the Zhang Li 5-piece parlay, and I am considering a shot on Kozlov. Even though it is sub or bust, his submission game is that good. So I'm excited to see that one. Great talk on that one. Note I'm not excited to see Ovince St. Preux versus Antonio Steroids Trocoli.
Is that the next one?
Trocoli failed.
Is that the next one on the card for you?
Yeah. Is it different for you?
Yeah, I've got they're all prelims, so it doesn't matter. But I've got Daniel Da Silva on next. And Vinicius
Let me
Salvador.
see. Let me do the old refresh here because we're doing it live. And yes, they've switched it up because did we lose a fight as we were talking? Because that's happened before. Okay, no, they switched the order. So all right. Yeah, Daniel okay. Take it back from the top. We are live. All right, gonna erase that timestamp at 12:15. Daniel Da Silva versus Vinicius Salvador. This fight, I don't really know how to feel about. I'll be honest, it's a tough one for me to get a good read on. Vinicius Salvador, this guy's striking defense is atrocious. He does that lean back, avoid the strikes, just get away from him more than anybody I've ever seen do it. I remember his fight on the Contender Series. It was one of my more confident picks for that. And this is at not at bantamweight, but flyweight. I apologize. But Vinicius Salvador Vinicius Femenino. If you type that in, you're going to find a lot more of his fights. He's trained by Amanda Hebos's dad. So there's that. Very good Muay Thai instructor down in Brazil. Shannon Ross, that fight. Oh, I was so sure on Shannon Ross in that fight. Shannon Ross was looking great. And then all of a sudden, it was just this relentless pressure that Vinicius put on Ross and just caught him with a long kind of looping left in the wrong spot, awkward striking, but it's effective. And it's effective against a certain level. Shannon Ross, I believe, also a construction worker out of Australia at the time, was trying to go full-time in MMA and just didn't turn out well. So, but Vinicius, he's very offensive with his Muay Thai, throws a lot of volume, uses his length well. It's sneaky power too. I think he does have a lot of people let their hands down, and just not expect kind of the power shots to come through. I do think he does a good job of not putting everything into every shot. But yeah, I mean, it's that striking defense that I think eventually is going to cost him. He also has been submitted once by Rafael Acosta, who's not a bad fighter in himself. But Daniel Da Silva, he's kind of has that kamikaze style where it's like things are going well till they're not going well. He had his moments against Molina, but then when the wheels fall off, they completely fall off. Had his moments against Altamirano, and then they fell off very quickly. Francisco Figueiredo knee barred him really quick. I mean, Daniel Da Silva appears to not have it at all, and most of his wins are coming by way of submission. He does have a couple KOs as well. I think he's just got to get in there and try to get reckless early for Da Silva. I think Vinicius is there to be hit. I really do. And he's probably going to get a lot of fights wrong in the UFC. So it's probably going to start out here. I'm going to go with Vinicius by KO. But if Da Silva were to KO him or catch kind of a really quick submission, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Salvador does not impress me. Da Silva just doesn't impress me less.
These guys should be thanking everybody for getting on a pay-per-view.
Crazy.
Even though it's the prelim, like both of these guys shouldn't be in the UFC for me. I think Vinicius he's so slow, no footwork. He's got no footwork. His head movement is lacking big time. But the positives, I guess, is he does have power, which is great because he's got that equalizer, I guess, for the weight class to be able to finish people like he has is very good. And that is the reason I will be picking Vinicius, because I just think Daniel Da Silva, I think you noted it perfectly. When the wheels fall off, they all fall off, like they're gone. When he gets a puncture on one, all four seem to go bang. So he's got a lot of quitting. And plus, he also got absolutely roasted like a few months ago.
Yeah, Daniel is this week's Estela Nunez. Except that, like, at least the girl who I can't say her last name ever, though, the Mexican prospect, at least she is legit. Vinicius is not legit. It's so upsetting that Shannon Ross slipped on that.
And if he beats Daniel Da Silva, it still doesn't make him like, it doesn't improve.
Daniel Da Silva is the type of dog who a lot of people throw in Salvador thinking Da Silva's so bad. He's lost 3 straight. What's he doing here? But then again, it could be Zhalgas Magulis type of. Either way, we've talked about it enough. Vinicius minus 200. It's just gross. Plus 170 for Daniel Da Silva. I hope the loser gets cut. I don't care if it's Vinicius. But next fight at featherweight here. Fight I'm very excited about. Probably my most confident pick of the night, if I'm being honest. And even though it is a debutant, Eric Silva. Taking on TJ Brown. TJ Brown, he's got to make this wild, crazy, reckless, and stay off the ground. If his back hits the ground, he is being submitted or being pounded out right away. Eric Silva is not here to play. He is a complete tactician. And, I mean, let's be honest. He's from Venezuela. That's right by Ecuador. It might be my next hotbed for talent coming in. But TJ Brown, 16-9. He's been in there with a good level of opponents, I guess. But he's lost to, like, Jordan Griffin. Got submitted by Jordan Griffin. Lost to Danny Chavez. Okay. Got split with Kai Kamaka. Unanimous decision of Rosa. And then got pretty ran through by Shailin Nurabandeki. Shailin, we don't really know how good he is from the Derek Minner fight. He's okay, but TJ Brown is just he finds the banana peels. The thing I can give him credit for is he used to always get finished, and now he's lost a few decisions along the way as well. But with Eric Silva, I get he's not facing a crazy level of competition. I get he's 35 years old making his debut. I get it, but this guy's legit. He's just got world-class skill on the ground, good judo as well, and everything like that. You've got Yu Zhongli on that parlay. He just goes to where he knows he can win the fight. He gets that back, takes the neck. Probably does the same thing against TJ Brown. Maybe flattens him out in TKO. That could be, I think, the opportunity to get a prop is the TKO on Eric Silva. I do think he gets it inside the distance. I don't think TJ Brown has the game to beat Eric Silva here. So Eric Silva, my most confident favorite on the card inside the distance.
I think the only way TJ Brown can really do this is he's got to avoid every element of the grappling. He's got a front kick, he's got a calf kick, he's got to slow the movement down of Eric Silva and drag him into the deep waters of the third round. Second and third, because we don't know what Eric's gas tank is like, really.
That's true.
He's 35.
Yep.
He might drastically
and we don't know how he looks when he's not the hammer.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. You look at Rodolfo Vieira in that first round, he looks like he's going to be a champion. As soon as that 6th minute hits, or it starts, he's just like grabbing a towel, he's drinking water, he's done. He's absolutely done. And I'm not saying Eric Silver's going to be that bad, but I'm saying his offense might lack, and then he might leave holes. He might be able to be picked apart. And TJ Brown, I think TJ's pretty good. He's not bad. He's beaten Charles Rosa and like Kaikamarka and a few other, decent level opponents. But where he's getting like beaten by Jordan Griffin by submission, Eric Silver's going to strangle him quicker than that. Like if he makes those same mistakes, I think Eric Silver's just going to pull him apart. And I think he's kind of got the Michael Chandler vibe of not here for a long time, kind of good time. He's of an age where he can't afford to not be good. Kind of Mark Madsen as well. All these guys, they just go on a run. They know what their skill set is. They stick with it. They want these. I wouldn't be surprised he wins this by Feb, March. Eric Silver's on another card. By June, July, he's on another one, etc. So I think Eric Silver by first round as well. But I would not be surprised if TJ uses a. Is he with James Krause? Wasn't he with Krause?
TJ Brown is now TJ Brown doesn't have James Krause in his corner. The interesting thing,
Krause.
Yeah, no Krause, and that's what you want is TJ Brown without a coach. Perfect. But
yeah, so even worse for him.
Yeah, I'm just confused. I'm confused by the line here. Currently Eric Silva's the underdog.
Bet the house.
Right. Eric Silva opened at -165. Money got steamed in on TJ Brown. TJ Brown opened at +140. He's now -115. I got Silva here, man. And this is an absolute gift. Like, this is an absolute gift. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I trust my read here. I trust the talent. I get it. Silva beat a pro kickboxer in Anvar. I get it that the level of competition he beat with Lux was not great. We've also seen some other fighters from Lux come in and look pretty bad in the UFC, like Zalhubar and a few others.
Being a pro kickboxer, though, is like, I had the option to go pro Muay Thai when I was 17. Like, didn't happen.
Yeah, like I mean, Anvar is I got Eric Silva here -105. Yeah. This is a gift. Zhang Li, yes, it's going to be in my 5-fight parlay as well. So maybe next week I'm talking about how TJ Brown, I don't know how to read him, but who knows. Next fight, 205, bad fight. Ovince St. Preux versus Antonio Trocoli. I got Antonio Trocoli's name wrong. My mistake. This is just not a good fight. OSP, what the hell are you getting out of him at this point? To be honest with you, he's gone up to heavyweight at points, coming back down to try to make 205. He'll probably miss weight. He's going to be the much bigger guy. Trocoli, before he was doing, what was it? Nardazone. I don't remember which steroid, but it's like a very old school steroid he was caught with after he beat Kenneth Berg on the Contender Series, which we all know how good Kenneth Berg is. The quitter of all quitters, that guy, as soon as it gets a little tough. Quit by a neck crank in that fight. Then he failed the steroid test, and then he faced some 7-1 Brazilian can. Winstrol. He failed for Winstrol, which is like the oldest of this. Yeah, like that's super cheating steroid. Like, and then he goes and beats some 7-1 can where you can't even find the video of it by rear naked choke. And now he's facing a guy who's fought at heavyweight. He's fought at welterweight before. Trocoli. Trocoli is weighing in at 202 for his Contender Series fight. His catchweight at 200. He's also very sloppy on his entries to get takedowns. Ovince St. Preux has a very slick choke game. He also can, have that St. Preux choke that's always available as well. I'm picking with my heart here with this one. Ovince St. Preux gives Trocoli a veteran lesson. Trocoli doesn't belong here. I just think Trocoli is a joke, man. I'll be honest. So Ovince St. Preux by submission.
Yeah, I got it written here as well. I think body lock trip, the St. Preux takedown all day. He'll just instantly get into half guard or full mount from the trip, and he'll just manhandle him. If he doesn't, he's going to counter shot him on the wall, on the cage side. He's just going to left hook him to death. So same left hook that puts away everyone. The last one I think was Menefield. Yep. He can take a shot still at 30. Yeah,
like Ben Rothwell could not put him away at heavyweight. Like no matter how and it's like, just fuck Trocoli. He doesn't belong here.
The only way you can beat him is either with like Jamal Hill. I remember Jamal Hill knocked him out, but he's got ridiculous reach power, like Deontay Wilder, kind of like how long he hits, and then you've got Tanner Boser, who's speed. He was
Right.
pure speed, so it
Trockley
was
is
accumulation. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Trokley's
like
a junkie.
Ovince St. Preux here, and with the odds where they're at, I'm considering an Ovince St. Preux bet because it's a pick 'em, -110 each way. What has Trockley done, and who has he faced, and how has he beat them that he deserves to be a pick 'em here with Ovince St. Preux? I get it, Ovince St. Preux's old. I do. And like just looking at his last 5, he's won 2, lost 3. So I mean, it's just like he's in his this is gonna be his 43rd fight. He's 39 years old. I get it, but it's like again, Jamal Hill, Tanner Boser, even Ben Rothwell, not on the all way above the level of Trockley here. Trockley,
I remember the fight before John Jones, or for the John Jones fight, St. Preux got bumped up a really nice contract. I guarantee he's probably still on that kind of money, which is why he's riding out these fights. That's why. I bet he's probably earning $100,000 a fight, which is
I just
crazy,
think
but he's contracted.
That OSP can still beat a guy like on Antonio Trockley
You should
here.
smoke him. You should smoke him.
Yeah, so pick him. I think it's a gift. Not going to make my parlay, but I will take Ovince St. Preux by submission. But 110 each way currently. Interesting lines so far for these fights. I'm looking at these lines at the first time with the rest of you. Next fight here is should be a very good one. Possible fight of the night, if I'm being honest, even though I don't like these guys that much. Billy Q's fine, I guess, but I don't like Alexander Hernandez. He's just, I don't like his face. I don't really. I think he's kind of overrated. He's really ridden, some good performance against Beneil and a few others, but that, I can never forget that Donald Cowboy fight. That's just hard for me to forget that, how he performed in that fight after what he was saying in that sweater. But these guys, they're going to stand, they're going to bang, they're going to trade. Early on, Alexander Hernandez, I think, is going to have the advantage. He's going to be landing more. Billy's toughness, his heart, his cardio are, the top tools in his game plan. Also, even though it says that he's going to have a reach disadvantage, I think he's the one who's going to be going in and out of distance more so than Hernandez, who's going to look to kind of crowd the phone booth more so. I could see Hernandez starting to go for takedowns, exhausting himself halfway through the fight. Billy turns the tide. I don't see a finish in this fight for Billy. I think if there's a finish, it's going to be Hernandez probably early on. But I think this fight just kind of gets tough, and it's kind of the in and out movement of Billy Q. And I think that's going to be enough to edge out the decision. This could be a split prop as well for me. Type of fight. I think it's going to be really close. So both these guys are good, but I don't know. I got Billy Q though.
Yeah, I also have Billy Q. I think his volume and his cardio is going to outshine Hernandez. I think Hernandez is kind of a first round or bust. After after midway second round, you see him slow down dramatically, and he's never there in the third. His wins aren't over good, like other than Beneil Dariush with the lucky.
In 44 seconds,
it was still precision. But yeah, it was if they fought 10 times, I think Beneil wins 9.9.
I agree.
Especially now, but that was 4 years ago. I think Mike Breeden, like Chris Grutzmarker, like they're not good wins. They're not. And like in the grand scheme of things, Mike Breeden's a very good mixed martial artist, but if you compare him to UFC caliber, he's a very average human.
Mm-hmm.
So Alex Hernandez and Billy Q are the best non-ranked fighters. So that's the top tier, and I think Billy Q will win a decision. Nothing more to think, really.
Yeah, no, I think this is one where I'm definitely considering
He's got a good chin, isn't he, Billy Q? So I don't think he's been knocked out, has he?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Billy
it might have been, but not in the UFC anyway.
Yeah, Billy -165 plus 135 on Hernandez. Hernandez, another waste of talent. Way he jumps in and out of punches really nice, but never fully capitalizes on it, except for the Beneil fight.
He's got bad coaching. He definitely has bad coaching.
Yeah. No, I agree. I just think, 30 years old now against 34. I think these guys go to distance in this fight, if I'm being honest. I think we kind of hit after a lot of finishes early. I think we hit a little bit of a decision spree for these next two, if I'm being honest, because they're just both really, really close, well-matched fights. And next is my boy, the Action Man.
You're gonna hate
Love
me.
him.
You're gonna hate me for this one.
Oh no, I get it. I think this is a really close fight again. Chris Curtis taking on Joaquin Buckley. This is a fight to me that it's really, really close. I think that Joaquin Buckley's style is pretty bad for Chris Curtis, though, in this fight. Chris Curtis was getting bodied up by Jack Hermanson. That ain't good. That ain't good, because Joaquin Buckley has shown on multiple occasions he likes going to the body. Go and watch his fight with Kevin Holland. He was having a whole lot of success to that body, and really was winning that fight till he wasn't. I just think that this is a fight where Chris Curtis, has to be a little bit less of the action man and think to maybe go to the wrestling, go to the grappling a little more. And I'm not sure if he can pull that off through 15 minutes, but this is another close fight. I do think Chris Curtis is going to have his moments in this fight. I think he could rock or put away Joaquin Buckley for sure. Joaquin Buckley's been put away before. Joaquin Buckley gets into wars. I see this being a war going to a decision, and I think that I want to pick Chris Curtis in this spot. I'm worried about his mindset after that Jack Hermanson fight. I'm not sure if he's taken enough time off. He's also been coaching. For me, I think Buckley's a little more focused at this point in his career. And Curtis is, kind of entering that, if he's wanting to put on a show, this is going to be a very close fight, but I got to go with Buckley, man. I think that Buckley, just first of all, has the reach advantage here, which is going to be huge. It's very willing to go to the body as well. Says it's a half-inch reach difference. I don't know about that. Buckley, I think, just throws the straighter shots, and I think that Curtis is not going to be able to pull through and have a smart game plan here. So, I think it's close, but I got a close decision for Buckley. I love Chris Curtis, but yeah.
That's very objective. That's good. That means that you thought about it properly, because you're not just someone jumping on him. Yeah. No. From what I've seen from all Chris's fights, and I've picked against him and lost, and picked with him and lost, and he's tricky to predict a lot of Curtis's fights because it's a mindset problem with him. Yeah. But he doesn't like dynamic strikers. Anyone unorthodox throwing wild crap at him, he panics. He doesn't know if it's a straightforward like kickboxing, like Phil Hawes. He knew what Phil Hawes was doing the whole time. He absorbed all the shots, and he did get rocked a couple of times, but it wasn't anything crazy. There was no spinning stuff. There was no wheel kicks. There's not even a kick. Phil Hawes was just boxing him and smashing him to bits with that. Buckley just has hit against. I know it wasn't that amazing, but the Abdul Razak Al Hassan fight really impressed me, because that guy has the ultimate leveler. He has ungodly power for this weight division, and he nearly got caught a couple times. There shouldn't have been a split decision. The Duraev fight, we both knew Duraev is a little bit wolf tickets, but he did what he should have done and shut him down so well. And then Imavov, in that third round against Imavov, he was coming back, and I could not believe it. Imavov should have taken him out in that first round. Agreed. Imavov is huge. He's rangy. He's the future of the division, arguably. And Buckley really showed what he's about, considering that when I heard back on, I listened to the full Rogan thing with Buckley, and he was saying that this is his last fight at middleweight, then he's at welterweight, and he walks around at middleweight, doesn't cut weight pretty much, which is madness to me, which makes me think his gas tank is going to be good again. Chris Curtis slowed down dramatically against Hermanson. Had no answer for just standard strikes, and I think that if he implements his game a little bit, Chris, and moves forward a bit faster, throws more volume, Buckley could be in trouble early. But if it goes the distance, I think the dynamic striking, Buckley's going to cause him a little bit of trouble and really irritate Curtis and frustrate him, and not allow him to move forward, and therefore not score any points pretty much and lose rounds. And Buckley's clever. Like, I think you've got to give him a little bit more credit than he probably did. He's lost 3 times in UFC, but he's also knocked out like sensationally some good people when he's pretty good. So I think Buckley, but it is close. I just don't trust Chris. I don't trust him.
Yeah, no, I'm worried about Chris here. So maybe this is a tough one, but -150. on Mr. Buckley, plus 135 on Curtis. So this is another really closely lined fight. I expect both these fights to go the distance. The last two we've talked about, honestly, because I just feel like they're very closely matched. And yeah, this fight is something at 185. Edmund Shabazian against Dalcha champion. What'd you say?
Easy pick for me.
Easy pick. Is it simply Edmund is getting back on the
Yeah.
I mean, Dalcha got dropped by Cody Brundage.
I mean, Dalcha's not a grappler. Edmund beats anyone like this sort of level in a striking fight. Easy.
Yeah, I think that's
for me anyway.
Yeah, I think that's pretty simple.
He was arguably like so competitive with Imavov on the feet, and he lost when Imavov wanted to grapple him. Just whitewashed him with the grappling.
Yeah,
Jackie Manson grappling. Derek Brunson grappling.
That crucifix did happen over a year ago. I'm glad Edmund took the time off. Again, Brunson, Hermanson, just taking that step back down to the competition he needs to. 10-year age difference here. Edmund's still 25 years old. But, I mean, there's still plenty of time here.
Those losses help him big time. They'll help him big time.
I don't think that crucifix loss necessarily did, because I saw him sitting there on the mat afterwards because I was
You can go to jiu-jitsu classes. That's what it'll do.
Yeah, that's true. He did take a long time off. Dalcha, I mean, I just can't get out of my head when Cody Brundage dropped Dalcha in the first round. Like, that's all I need to see. So
Edmund's going to few minutes. Give it 3 minutes. Edmund will clip him up.
Yeah, I think this is a minus 300 who's going to look like a minus 600, to be honest. So at minus 300, he's going in my parlays. Second piece of my parlay here, Edmund Shabazian by TKO ground and pound. Minus 300.
Loses to Dalcha, Edmund needs to go back outside the UFC.
Seriously, Dalcha plus 250 right now. I expect that line to further wide as the week goes on. Second from the top on the prelims, we have Jay fucking Perrin against Raul Rosa, the 18-year-old kid who spammed takedowns and freaked out against Mando Garcia and almost blew it, but didn't quite. I'm not a big fan of Raul Rosa yet, man. I don't think he should be here yet. His performance was fine, but Jay Perrin, is going to be his toughest competition to date. And that is pretty damning on the route that Rosa's taken to get here. 6-0 he is. El Nino Problema. Looks just like a combination.
He hasn't fought anyone.
He's fought no one. He's 18 years old. He's not fought anybody. Mando Gutierrez, I can tell you, I'm from Lansing. I'm from Lansing, Michigan. Mando Gutierrez is not the one. That's all I gotta say.
His first 6 opponents have combined wins of 3.
Exactly. And he's finishing these guys very quickly. I did not like the pace he kept. I think that if he struggles to get takedowns, he will continue to spam takedowns, and he'll start to panic like an 18-year-old on a pay-per-view in Vegas with the crowd. Jay Perrin, he's got to know, man, what Raul's going to come in here and try to do. He's made it very clear from his Contender Series fight and everything like that, and just he's out of Massachusetts. We got Steve in the chat here, the Joker, Jay Perrin, 29 years old, New England Cartel represent. 2 straight losses to not great levels of opponents, let's be honest. Or to good levels of opponents, let's be honest, and Mario Batista and Archie Lang. But he didn't look terrible against Archie Lang. He definitely showed some promise there. I think he's the far better striker to Raul Rosa. He's simply got to prevent the takedowns. I don't know. I don't think Rosa is going to be careful enough. He really rushes the submissions, which against these low-level opponents has worked well. But even against a guy like Mando Gutierrez, you saw the holes start to appear. Jay Perrin is my pick. Raul Rosa, this is too much too soon. And I'm going to be wrong picking against Raul Rosa for 3 or 4 fights because I'm not picking him against UFC, even quasi-UFC levels of opponents. I do think Jay Perrin is by far the best level fighter he's fought, including Mando. Jay Perrin would kill Mando Gutierrez. He would finish him. Mando Gutierrez is awful. He really is. And Raul Rosa was making a lot of – I'm just not a Raul Rosa guy, so I got Perrin.
Yeah, I think
decision.
if you make it I'll put it an easier question for people. Jay Perrin was competitive against Archie Lang, right?
Yes.
Right. Would Archie Lang beat up Rosa?
Yes, he would finish him.
Yeah, Jay Perrin then all day.
Yeah, I agree here.
Simple.
This is wild. Rosa is a minus 250 favorite right now. Plus
Ooh,
190 on
I haven't. Am I missing something with the kid?
He's got hype. He's 18.
I think Pant's older than him.
He's got hype and he's 18 and people love a hype train. This is insane, man. I'm not saying Jay Perrin is a god at all, but Jay Perrin did not make a
Jay
bad
Perrin
choice.
is the bottom of the barrel of the UFC.
Right. If Raul Rosa, here's all I'll say: Raul Rosa beats Jay Perrin, it doesn't change my opinion about Raul Rosa at all.
No.
Like,
he goes up a couple percent. He goes up a couple percent on the stock, but it's probably it's probably the best fight to put.
That would mean like he'd have to fight the next lowest level of competition at 135, which
you're gonna have to bring in someone for him to fight. Essentially,
exactly. So
you're gonna have to start.
Or TJ Brown will cut to 135 to stay in the UFC after this next fight. Be like, I'll cut to bantamweight, whatever. Just let me stay. But yeah, we're on the Raul Rosa fade train. Plus 195 on Jay Perrin. Featured prelim here. Jairzinho or Rosenstruck versus Chris Daukaus. Pretty damn good featured prelim. If I say so myself. Proper matchup here. But, I mean, I think that my question with Chris Daukaus before he made the UFC and I saw his issues was, can his chin hold up at heavyweight? Is he a heavyweight? Shouldn't he go to 205? My questions still are, can his chin hold up? Is he a heavyweight? Shouldn't he go to 205? And you put him in there with Jairzinho Rosenstruck. Where do we put Rosenstruck on the power puncher? Third, fourth of anybody in the heavyweight division? Like, he's top 5.
I don't know. You say that. All his wins are obviously by knockout.
Right.
But
hard
the
knockout.
people he hasn't knocked out as well. Like, he didn't even touch Curtis Blades.
No.
Didn't touch him. Didn't touch Volkov. Didn't touch Garn. Not even like a single shot. Everyone's hit Garn, but they're not knocked him out. Like, he's not like a scary shot. I don't think he's as powerful.
He wasn't really touching Alistair Overeem until
he doesn't kickbox. Like, he doesn't fight MMA like he used to kickbox. He was quite active with his striking when he was kickboxing. When he's come over to MMA, he just plants his feet and waits for you to step into range. He doesn't do it. He fights like Derek Lewis, but Derek Lewis is way more active.
Mm-hmm.
And it just doesn't make sense the way he fights especially against someone like Daukaus, who's going to be firing from every angle, knees up the middle, pinpoint accuracy, speed as well. He's one of the faster guys. He's going to be moving constantly, but the leveler is there. But again, I think Curtis Blades hits harder than Jairzinho. That might be controversial.
Yeah, but Curtis Blades was also able to completely sleep Chris Daukaus, and that's the thing. The Daukaus, as Steve says here, Daukaus brothers, they don't have chins, and I just think I think personally, I think this fight does kind of go the way of a Pavlovich type of fight. I think Jairzinho is going to pour everything into the first few minutes. No, if I pour the pressure and get him cornered, it's over. But after those first few minutes, I don't know, man. I think Chris Daukaus can really, be that apple pie shitter in a lot of people's parlays here. Got the bigger octagon here at the T-Mobile Arena as well. And, I still think that Daukaus at heavyweight, isn't a great idea, but maybe there's, a little bit of a route to a decision for Daukaus, which I would hate to, have be your game plan as a heavyweight, but Bozer's made a good living off it too, as making these decisions.
I think way better than Bozer.
Right. I think Chris Daukaus is being a little bit unfairly counted out here for how he was knocked out by Blades. And I think people are like, oh, Jairzinho Rosenstruck is this great striker. I think Rosenstruck is going to look, a lot like the Overeem fight, where Overeem is kind of just getting in and out. I get Overeem strikes very differently, but Overeem was using the speed, using the distance, and Rosenstruck knocked him out in the 5th round.
Mm.
Through 3 rounds, that was a shutout for Overeem. And I just think that speed and movement are going to kill Rosenstruck here. And I like Dawkins by decision or Rosenstruck early.
Yeah, and if I was Chris's coach, I wouldn't even be telling him hit the legs because he doesn't move. Rosenstruck does not move. I would say be front body kick, gas him, make his hands drop, front body kick, step in, land your pinpoint 1-2s, back out again. He's got a good reach. He's very fast. I think this is either going to be a Rosenstruck KO first round or it's going to be a Daukaus decision. Daukaus ain't knocking him out. Like
No.
I don't believe that for a second. So no, I think Daukaus' decision is quite smart, but it is that your bum's gonna be going in and out for 15 minutes. So
yeah, and a little bit of money's coming in on Dawkins. He's down to a plus 145.
I like Daukaus.
Jairzinho Rosenstruck at a minus 170. So I think a lot of people are going to get really excited about Rosenstruck at that price, and not really think about how this fight could really go. I think Dawkins speed kills and the movement. Yeah, I like the Dawkins decision the more I think about it. So we shall see. On to the main card. It's a very interesting but good main card. Starting at 145 with another one of the potential fights of the night, if not my fight of the night. Bryce Mitchell taking on Ilaria Topuria, which I just butchered that name, but this is a great fight. Really excited to see how Topuria looks here against the grappling of Bryce Mitchell, which once upon a time, Bryce Mitchell was plus 105 underdog to Matt Sales. Can you believe that?
And he twisted him.
Yeah, he twisted him in the first round.
Broke that guy's back.
Yeah, Bryce, and I think kind of ended his career. One day you will give credit. One day you will get your credit. You a real one, MMA Mafia. All right, good to know. Yeah, give me my credit. We're 13 away from 700. Go share it with your friends. But this is a really good fight here. Battle of two world-class grapplers here who both are improving their striking in very different ways. Topuria, kind of more the bully, tough phone booth striker. Bryce Mitchell kind of becoming more and more of a skillful striker. People don't really remember how he was looking against Barboza. He was out striking Barboza, man. Like, he wasn't just going straight to the grappling. Bryce Mitchell is the real deal, man. He's getting better and better. And I think this could get really interesting, this fight again. Topuria on his back, I'd be interested to see how that goes. I think Bryce Mitchell is very tricky with his position on top. I think he really can drag Topuria into the deeper water here. I think he has the better gas tank. I think that the cardio is going to be a huge part of this. I think Bryce Mitchell is just going to keep a pace in this fight that Topuria is going to have he's going to be like a step or two behind. And when it gets to the ground, he's going to be a step or two behind. Bryce Mitchell, I don't think could submit him. I think Topuria is good enough. I think both guys, I don't see a submission. But I think Bryce Mitchell is just going to be a little ahead on the scrambles, a little quicker on the feet, a little bit sharper here. I just got a weird feeling. He's one of my favorite dogs on the card. Bryce Mitchell, flat earther himself, uses his position, and we're going to see Topuria on his back, and I don't think Topuria is going to like that very much. I think it's going to tire him out as this fight goes. I think we're going to see Topuria saying, should I go up to 155? I'm the 145 really, that cut really tough. And for Bryce, this is a natural cut for him. And he's just showing he's building on those skills. And for me, Bryce off his back is more comfortable. So if Topuria does put him on his back, I don't think Bryce is just going to stay there necessarily. And even so, I think he's more dangerous off his back than Topuria. And I'm just think the gas is on Bryce's side, speed's on Bryce's side, the experience is on Bryce's side, the hype is on Topuria's side. And Bryce is kind of coming into this, I think, feeling pretty disrespected. And he's the underdog, man. I like him as a dog here. So I got Bryce by decision.
I like that pick. I like it. And I remember in the Andre Fili fight, Andre Fili reversed position from the bottom 4 times in that fight. Bryce afterwards said he hated himself for doing it. He can't believe he let that happen. What happened against Edson? Like, I know it's an old Edson. I know that. But Edson still is one of the quickest switch kicks I've ever seen in my goddamn life. It's like a shotgun hitting you. And again, he was getting outstruck by Bryce Mitchell, who is first and foremost just a grappler to most people. He does have good stand up. He's not going to want to stand with Ilya, not a
No.
chance. Like, but you can catch Ilya. I mean, Jay Hurt nearly knocked him out with a nearly knocked him out with that head kick, and he should have finished him there. But
Agreed.
you know, I don't know. I think the weight cut's going to do him in that second, third round properly. I think I've underrated Bryce a lot, and
Me too.
think I'm with him on this one. I think he can pin him, hold him, and smash him. I think he's got that. He has got that nasty streak in him, and he makes it look easy. He's one of those guys. So you think it is easy, and it's not that impressive. But I think he is that good. And to get a twister on someone, by the way, is almost impossible. And he has the takedown that Ryan Hall didn't have. And you can see how nervous
he's got the wrestling.
To the mat.
He trains his wrestling at Arkansas Little Rock with the wrestling team there, and he stayed in Arkansas, so props to him. But yeah, this guy, he's definitely got the wrestling.
Yeah, I just think, like, you saw how scared Topuria was to go down with Ryan Hall. Obviously, because that's Ryan's game. That's his only game, other than the wheel kicks. But Bryce has the wrestling to back it up, which Ryan never had. And I would argue he's got better grappling for MMA than Ryan Hall does. So
I agree. He's a better, younger version of Ryan Hall in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways, yeah, just not as freaky jiu-jitsu. He's just more. He's almost like a sambo guy, to be honest. He body locks you, trips you to the floor. He fights very similar to how Islam does. And I like that. So no, I'm with Bryce.
Yeah, me too. We're both on the dog here. Plus 125.
I also think he can sub him. I think he could sub him.
I do too. Plus 125 here on Bryce Mitchell. Minus 150 on Topuria. That's a great fight between two really world-class grapplers and fighters. Next fight has maybe one world-class fighter, but also Darren Till's back. Just kidding. Darren Till versus Dricus du Plessis. Middleweight fight here. Will it happen? Won't it happen? I don't know. Currently on Monday, it is happening. I do have my doubts.
You on this?
I have my doubts about this one for sure. Parlaying both Bryce Mitchell and Danny Sabatello, same game plan, different organizations. Kind of. I think maybe Stotts is gonna be a tough go about for Sabatello, but we'll be talking about the Bellator fights on Wednesday, so tune in then. But this fight here, good fight, should be mostly on the feet. I would anticipate this being basically a kickboxing fight. Darren Till and Dricus du Plessis. Dricus, he's okay. I think this is a really good return fight for Darren Till to have here because he doesn't have to do a lot of that old thinking. He's just got to stay on the feet here in this fight for the most part. For Dricus, the key for me with Dricus is the leg kicks. He's got to
Dricus, by the way.
Huh?
Dricus. I said, there's no S in the middle of his name.
Dricus. Don't you pronounce it like a soft C? Dricus. Dricus. Whatever. Either way.
So it's Jan, but now you're going to do a South African.
What is it? Dricus? Dricus, whatever. Duplessis. Either way. Versus Darren. Right. Dricus. Same thing. Dricus. Oh my God. Now, like, we're all get the champ's name right. I'll get his name right when he has a belt. Duplessis here. His key, I think, is not just to go head hunting for that knockout. Because I do not think that would be wise. I think that would be right into Darren Till's kind of counter-striking game plan here. I think the leg kicks are very key for Duplessis because he's got to slow down what I assume will be good movement from Darren Till. And Darren's going to look to kind of go in and out with the precise shots. He's never going to be a heavy volume guy. But even if he upticks his volume a little bit, Dricus, fine. Dricus, fucking chill, people. My God. Dricus. he's got to throw a lot of leg kicks in this fight, and he's got to land those. I think they'd be very, very effective towards Darren Till and slowing him down. Once Darren Till slows down, you can start working towards the body, maybe work towards getting those more KO shots in the second and third round. For Darren, I think that there's definitely a route for him to win this fight. I don't think that Du Plessis is the most technical kickboxer. I don't think he's going to really look to mix it up too much in this fight. And for me, I think we could see a lot of looping shots that are missing Darren, and Darren kind of fighting a good, defensive type of game plan and just edging on decision. I don't see a finish for Darren Till, if I'm being honest. If he comes out and finishes Du Plessis, that would really surprise me. But I could see him edging out a decision win. So for me, I think Darren Till fights a smart game plan and just kind of frustrates Du Plessis, who kind of runs into some shots as the fight goes. Darren Till by decision is unfortunately my pick.
I thought I'd hear you say that. I never thought that.
I never thought either, but I think this is a really good return fight.
Now I know this is the most objective you've ever been on a UFC card. You've gone against Chris Curtis and you bet on Darren Till.
Yeah, someone shoot me. I'm probably gonna be wrong too.
Yeah, I mean, I won't. You covered a lot of the good points. To be honest, this is one of the few. I made 2 videos last week.
Yep.
For this card, the 2 I wanted to talk about. We'll get into the next one. I think after this one. This is one of them. So Darren is fully counter-striking here. He's got tremendous movement and cardio. You can't forget his cardio. He's gone 5 rounds of Thompson, went 5 rounds of Whitaker, did not slow down a second. He was so fresh in those 5th rounds. He may look out of shape when he fought Derek Brunson, but he's still in good shape. It was just that meme of where he sat down and all his folds came over.
Yeah.
When he stood up, he didn't look out of shape. So
it's all about the angle. That's what I tell my girl too.
Yeah, exactly. But what you can see only from social, obviously, but he has been training his arse off. Absolutely been training his arse off. So he is in incredible shape. He's been training with people like Marvin Vettori. He is working on all the weak spots. Now, ironically, he doesn't need to work on those things against Dricus. There's no chance. Dricus moves forward. He's very sidestepping. He's reckless, chin exposed, but he's high volume, high pressure, serious power, good cardio, and he butchers legs. So it is worrying for Till because Jorge Masvidal.
I'm not sure about his cardio, to be honest.
I think he was over 3 rounds. He's good. Over 5 rounds, I think Du Plessis is in trouble.
Yeah.
But compared to Darren's cardio, which is the next point, he's out of his league. Darren's way better cardio management. He really does. And that's from all the Thai boxing fights because you need cardio when you're snapping kicks back and forth like that. I just personally want Darren to be a bit more active. When he doesn't throw the jab, he doesn't find the target. He just throws the left constantly, just constant left hand. And that's great because he doesn't waste shots. And that's probably why he's got good cardio because he's not throwing recklessly. But also you're losing on the scorecards. If he threw more in that in the second round against Robert Whitaker, he would have won that fight based on points, which is crazy. He won 2 rounds against Robert Whitaker. He dropped Robert Whitaker with an inside elbow, which
that was a dirty elbow.
That's a beautiful elbow. Oh, beautiful. So I think Du Plessis is in real trouble after that first round. He will headhunt. All his wins, but his last one against Tavares have come by knockout.
Yep.
All of them. They're all finishes. Oh, sorry, all finishes. Maybe not knockout, but all finishes, which is a very ridiculous stat. Darren, there's a beauty in winning by decision. You know how to win a fight by in points, and there is that. Like he beat Kelvin Gastelum. I don't care. It's a split decision. Kelvin didn't win a round. He whooped someone like Gastelum, and I think Du Plessis doesn't fight too dissimilar to Gastelum on the feet. Lunging shots, fast movement. I think Darren coming in shape with this, he should win all 3 rounds.
I agree.
But it is a scary proposition, that first round with Du Plessis. I want to see Darren come in fresh. If he's come in semi-injured, he's going to lose again. He will.
I don't think he is because he has shown he's not afraid to pull off a fight. If he was at all compromised.
No, but if he was fully fit for that Derek Brunson fight, do you think he would have been taken down as easy? I think he would have been taken down, but nowhere near as easy. He didn't come up with the excuse either. It's just he needs to come in fit. Stop. He needs to pull out of fights if he's unfit.
Which he has been.
That's good. So it's like I can't complain that he's pulling out as long as he comes in fit. It's
So this is
don't go in
another.
it, so.
Yeah, this is another underdog that we're both on here. Plus 135, Darren Till. Minus 165, Dricus Duplessis. Or Dricus
Yeah.
Duplessis.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, it's been a while since Darren's finished a fight. I mean, he knocked out Wendell Oliveira, didn't he, in his debut, and then Donald Cerrone. Other than that, he's never knocked anyone out in the UFC.
Right.
So he's not a finish merchant by any means.
Including Nicholas Dalby, who he drew with, and never.
Yeah,
fought.
it wasn't a draw, was it? But it was. It should. He
Wasn't
did win
it
the
draw?
fight. Nah, he won the fight, but
I think it was. But yeah, we I don't know, but
you
yeah,
really. Yeah,
I
you
am
got to get your own back.
betting Till and fading Chris Curtis. So
if Till loses, I have no idea where he goes.
Yeah, probably
he fights Brad Tavares and Nicholas Dalby.
Next fight here, Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Robbie Lawler in the retirement fight. And I say this because if Santiago Ponzinibbio loses to Robbie Lawler here, man, he needs to retire. Needless to say, Robbie Lawler needs to retire. Robbie Lawler has not been the same since Tyron Woodley death touched him. He's just not been the same person. That fight with Brian Barberena was a great fight, though. Really fucking funny fight. Brian Barberena threw 175 strikes in the first round. I think he attempted 175 strikes. He landed 44 of them. That is atrocious. And then by the second round, that left hand was starting to slow down of Robbie Lawler. His defense has really left him. Santiago Ponzinibbio is going to head kick Robbie Lawler to death. Santiago Ponzinibbio.
The Nick Diaz win out of his last, however, but after Tyron Woodley, he beat Donald Cerrone. Bullshit decision in my head. Donald won rounds 2 and 3.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Robbie just came out first. So in my head, he's won one fight since 2016.
Since Tyron touched him.
Unfucking believable. You say what you want about the Ben Askren fight. He shouldn't have even been in contention to be in that position against an out of shape, semi-retired, hit replaced Ben Askren. It actually shows how bad Robbie's been. And Brian Barberena, you just saw him got absolutely dominated and controlled without landing a strike against RDA last week.
Plus 350 sub
Brian is
RDA, yeah.
Brian fought Sage Northcutt and was competitive. It's the levels of the drop off of Lawler makes me so upset, and I just don't want to see these guys keep competing. I wish the UFC would Dana would tell Robbie what he told Chuck Liddell. Stop.
He will after this fight. When he gets a shin to the dome, that puts him out.
Santiago's good, man. He beats some top 10 guys right now.
Yeah, Santiago should be close to retirement too, with what he had to come back from, where he was almost dead from those surgeries.
And you think he looks so good against Pereira as well. Jeff Neal split two split decisions against Pereira and Jeff Neal. Yes. Jeff Neal just smashed Vicente. Santiago still got it. He knocked out not knocked out. He beat Beaza comfortably. This is. Do not pair him against Robbie. What are you doing?
Robbie's defense. That right arm comes down all the time. I think Ponzinibbio is gonna start to the body and then work to that head. Wait, this fight's canceled. This fight is it? Lawler's out.
I haven't got any info about that.
Lawler's out. Thank God. Thank God. I am so glad he's okay. Thank God. The Lord has protected him. Good. No, good. That's fine. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It wouldn't be a breakdown without it, but I didn't need to see Robbie Lawler get flatlined by Santiago Ponzinibbio. Let me do the old.
Okay, good, because the next 2 fights are easy to pick as well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, thank you, Locker Room, for that update there. I guess Tapology is late to the game on that, but sorry I didn't check Twitter before this. Yeah, man. I mean, we've got this fight right here.
Would you like to say it quickly, or shall I for you?
Paddy Pimblett versus Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon being a good company man coming in here. He's going to get rocked and then subbed by Paddy Pimblett round number 1. This isn't gonna go well for him.
Yeah, this is going to be quick. This is going to be quick. Like Jared Gordon, I was trying to think of all the ways Jared Gordon could beat him, and I'm like, Jared Gordon got a split decision win over Joe Solecki. Like, he's not beating.
No,
He's not beating Paddy
just
Pimblett. Paddy
not.
Pimblett's going to Toshi him to the ground and just mount his back.
No,
And
do you want to know how else you know that Jared Gordon's not going to win? So they always give like a
because Grant Dawson choked him out.
Well, yes, that too.
Like
Jared Gordon, the fight they chose to highlight of his was against Michelle Quinones from June 25th of 2017. It was at a catch weight of 150 pounds, and he was struggling with Michelle Quinones.
Was that his debut?
Yes, and that's the fight that the UFC is choosing like as their free fight to promote him. Because what did he become after that? A decision merchant, except for when he's getting finished by Diego Ferreira, Joaquin Silva, Charles Oliveira, Grant Dawson, split decision with Joe Solecki, decision with Chris Fishgold, decision with Danny Chavez, decision with Leonardo Santos. I mean, he's only been submitted one time, but it was by Grant Dawson. Yeah, Paddy probably gonna rock him on the feet and then sub him, club and sub Paddy Pimblett.
No, and after this fight, I would not be surprised if you don't see Paddy go back up in weight because he said I think it was on his own podcast that as soon as he becomes ranked, which he's pretty much going to be fighting ranked guys now once he beats Jared. That's how confident I am. He will not fluctuate in weight. He will obviously gain weight, but he'll walk around probably like 170. So instead of 200, instead of heavier than like Buckley and stuff.
Exactly.
Which is mad. But Paddy Pimblett will be no more, hopefully. Because it's not good for you.
Yeah, so I think he gets more focused after this. Minus 250 on Paddy. Needless to say, yes, he's in by parlays. Jared Gordon, he can.
How Vegas is going to receive him as well. The US.
Yeah, and Jared Gordon will make this a split decision according to Banana and Grapes. Those grapes must be wine, and you need to stop drinking because it's only
Your 2 bananas moldy, mate. No chance.
Yeah, that's interesting though. Paddy the Batty. I'm a believer in him against a guy like Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon is in a co-main event of a pay-per-view.
What did I say to you when Paddy made his debut with Luigi? I think I said he won't have any trouble until he hits ranks.
Yeah,
like no trouble. He smashes them all.
And Jared Gordon,
as soon as he hits
Jared Gordon is as clearly a not ranked fighter as there is in the UFC. He's not terrible. He's just like, I am not ranked, nor will I ever be. But
then as soon as you go to the rank, dude, have you seen the top 15? It's like Gregor Gillespie, Drew Dober, Moicano.
Exactly. Yeah. No.
All those
guys beat Paddy. I
think Paddy beats Drew Dober.
There's a reason they're giving Paddy Pimblett a co-main event against a non-top. How many times do you see a non-top 15 guy in a co-main event?
Dude, even some of these non-ranked guys like Thiago Moises gives Paddy a fucking good fight.
Agreed.
Diego Ferreira.
Jared Gordon, look through. Jared Gordon is the guy you pick out that Paddy can beat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he beats him. I'm not worried about Paddy in this one.
Yeah, minus 250 plus 200 here. And then Charlemagne, going back to the Tapuria fight, will defend the takedowns and outstrike Mitchell. And then Moise saying narrative fight.
He definitely could, man. He definitely could.
Yeah,
and he's got some power as well. If he lands on Bryce is going out. Tapuria knocked out Jai Herbert it's just like a paper man.
I wonder what fight they'll move to the main card. I guess they'll probably just move Rosenstrike and Dawkins up there. Yeah. I would assume. Or do they dare put Rosa on the main card with Perrin?
Well, they could. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Buckley Curtis because people like Buckley.
I wouldn't be surprised if they put Rosa on there so they could say youngest fighter on a pay-per-view card and artificially hype that up. But it's Jay Perrin, let's be honest. Main event time here. Really good fight. Jan Blachowicz. Does he have it? Does he have it left in him? Which you can ask about so many people in the top of the 205 division, Glover included. Taking on Magomed Ankalaev here. Great fight. Magomed Ankalaev was a professional Jan Kutalaba fighter for over a year. He did well, always beat his ass over and over again. But I don't know. Magomed, to me, he's good. He had that slip up against Craig after beating his ass for 14 and a half minutes. Which, whatever.
Last second, 1 second to go, right?
Right, exactly. 1 second to go and he tapped. So really weird.
14 minutes, 59 seconds.
Yeah, 14:59. Knocked out Protniau. Did not knock out Clinton Abreu. Knocked out Dolce. Knocked out Jan Kutalaba twice. And then was scheduled for him 3 more times. Didn't knock out Krylov. Didn't knock out Ozdemir. Didn't knock out Thiago Santos. Did knock out Lionheart in the last fight.
It's because he shattered his leg, though, didn't he?
Exactly. Yeah. And so Magomed, he's very, very technical. He keeps a very methodical type of pace, good counter striker. He's pretty much good everywhere. You know, and for me, Jan has to be the one to mix this up, make this dirty. Jan also coming off of a leg injury against Rakic in that fight. It was a good fight till then, but, you know, still hard to really say. Before that, the Glover fight, obviously, Glover, you know, did what Glover's been doing for a while. I don't, you know, really mark that against him too much. The Israel Adesanya fight continues to, you know, look good, but it's like, how relevant is it? He was 205 facing a guy who was like 195 pounds, but still, Jan did what he had to do, showed the well-rounded skills. It's the Corey Anderson fight for me and the Reyes fight. Those types of fights where it's just like those impactful body shots that he puts along with the crisp boxing and the threats of the takedown. I think these are really things that Ankalaev has not seen this level yet. Just real quick, Haka, Wednesday we're doing the Bellator breakdown. And he's saying his 4-piece parlay is Ankalaev, Pimblet, Silva. Is there anyone else you would add who is a confident pick? Yeah, I mean, you did say we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jan, he's faced the who's who, and he's put these guys away. He's had a couple, you know, close decisions along the way, like the Jacare, but he is, for the most part, more of a finisher. I think he's more the guy who looks to make this a dogfight. He has more of the 5-round experience here. I get it. Magomed is kind of everybody's future, everybody's present. He's the guy. There's just a part of me that's been yanking towards Jan all week. Jan, he's got my heart. And I think Jan ends up getting the KO of Magomed. I think he pushes the pace and KOs Magomed Ankalaev. And I'll say round 3. I think it's going to be a great fight. I just think that Jan, I know this is going to sound like dumb, kind of layman type of, but Jan is more of a fighter than Magomed. And he's going to make this more of a fight than that technical. If this was in the Apex, Magomed all day long, because they get into kind of a sparring match almost. The crowd's going to be into this fight, and they're going to be behind Jan. They're going to all be behind Jan because Magomed is just not that fun, man. He's good, you know, and if he wins, if it's spectacular, people will love it. But if it's a decision, that no one's going to be excited to see Magomed. And I think the crowd could play a factor here. Jan's experience could play a factor here. And he's not the more technical guy, but he's 39. This is it for Jan. Jan knows it's now or never. And the 205 division has shown over and over again it does not discriminate against the age. So I got Jan in this spot by KO. I think it's going to be a shocking end to the fight and sets up a huge fight with him and Glover to set up who fights Yuri next year. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, the way Blachowicz has knocked people out, man, is it is scary. Like, it is really good.
Corey Anderson knockout I just watched before this again, man. Dirty.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Dominic Reyes one's the one that gets me. But I just...
And what he did against Adesanya, man, he really made Adesanya look, you know.
Yeah, I just think Ankalaev is arguably heavier than Jan, moves better, stabs, and will absolutely destroy his cardio. I just think Magomed Ankalaev is going to make it really stale. I think he knows how to win. And you saw that against Thiago Santos. He took his foot off the gas for a second and got rocked. And Santos, he threw everything into one shot and skimmed Ankalaev. And Ankalaev went chicken legs for like 0.5 seconds, but it was enough to Ankalaev to get straight back in precision mode and then just whitewashed him. And he does have that takedown ability. And Glover just took him down with ease, absolute ease. Like, I'm not convinced Jan's got good takedown defense whatsoever. So I think there might be a path to victory for Ankalaev. If he's struggling on the feet, he might look to grapple here, and I think Ankalaev's going to win a decision.
Yeah, that's probably
I
the smart.
want Yan to win. I want Yan to win, but I
I
think
just,
Ankalaev
yeah,
will win.
like you saw the split second moment against Paul Craig, he tapped. The split second moment against Thiago Santos, he made it through. That split second moment could come up at multiple times in a 5-round fight with Jan Blachowicz. So that I
Yeah,
get
he
it.
just has he has what it seems like he has got a good chin.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think the smart choice is Ankalaev to use that distance and get a decision here. Minus what is it? Ankalaev minus 265. Give me that magic number that I usually look for in my low-level female fights, which, by the way, there's no women fights on this card. I think it's one of the first cards of the year with no female fights on it. But
I think you could easily switch a few of them for some.
yeah, I got my magic number for low-level women's fights with my upsets of the plus 200. Jan at plus 200, he's going to get a wager from me, man. I am not yet a believer in a road built by Jan Kutalaba fights, Marcin Prachnio fights, Dalcha champion fights. And then once you get into that higher level, I want to keep that energy. And he's not in those moments. The Thiago Santos moment, I think Jan would have finished him in that moment. Thiago Santos has shown that his best days are well behind him. So, like, Ankalaev's best win coming into this is what?
Smith is
so there we go. So for me, I don't think Ankalaev,
maybe.
I do not think Ankalaev has earned nearly a minus 300 favored tag on Jan Blachowicz here at all. I think Jan comes into this one hungry. And what that Aaron there, IQ, I don't know what you're saying, Justin. But yeah, Ankalaev, yeah, like the irony of like IQ and then you write that. Yeah, Ankalaev, I get it. He can cruise to it, or he can go to a decision. Blachowicz is, gonna have to push.
He could also sub him.
That would be quite, exactly. So if he subs him or if he shows, I know that you don't have the takedown defense, Jan, I'm gonna exploit it here. That would also make me very, very hopeful.
Think how easy he tapped to Glover.
That's what I'm saying.
Quick that was. So didn't even get under the chin, forearm, and just.
I know. So if Magomed does that, great. Then I'm wrong, and I have no problem being wrong.
I don't want you to be wrong.
It's all good.
I want you to be right.
We're down to 13 fights now. I'm gonna just trust that the Lawler fight is indeed off. So do my quick picks and then come up with my Zhang Li 7-fight parlay and get you the number, or 5-fight parlay and get you the number on that. But starting at the bottom, Cameron Simon taking on the short notice replacement in Stephen Kozlow. We were both on Stephen Kozlow, or you're on Stephen Kozlow. I'm actually on Cameron Simon here. I do think Cameron Simon edges it out, but you're on Stephen Kozlow, so we're split on this first fight.
Yeah, man.
I think it's or bust for Kozlow, but legit 6-0, 6-0 low level. Another low level fight here. Vinicius Salvador taking on Daniel Da Silva. I think that Daniel Da Silva just doesn't have the striking to pull it off, so I'll take Vinicius Salvador, and I think he gets the KO just because when the wheels fall off, they fall off.
Yeah, I just think Da Silva's not good.
Yeah. Next fight, 145, Eric Silva versus TJ Brown. First on my 5-fight parlay, Eric Silva is going to show the mastery on the ground, put away TJ Brown. We have not seen him as a nail, but I don't think we're going to see it here against TJ Brown. So give me Eric Silva.
Eric Silva first round.
Furio, what up, man? Good to see you. Keep doing your thing. It's been a while since I've seen him here. But yeah, Eric Silva first on the parlay here. We're both in agreement on that as well. And Eric Silva has become the favorite as we've been on this call or on this show. So next fight, Oven St. Preux versus Antonio. I keep calling him Andre. Antonio Trocoli. I got OSP and I got him by submission.
Exactly the same.
Yep. And right now I'm considering him for the 5-piece. We'll see if I need him or not. So I'm going to put him maybe next to OSP right now because I do think he puts him away. Next fight, Billy Q versus Alexander Hernandez. Billy Q is more strong, more skilled, and just better, higher IQ. Give me Billy Q by decision.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Billy Q by decision.
Yep. And next fight up, we got Chris Curtis and Joaquin Buckley. Breaks my heart, but I just think Joaquin Buckley uses the body work, uses the dynamic striking, and just it's going to frustrate Curtis in this one. So give me Joaquin Buckley by decision.
Yeah, man. Same here. I think he could knock him out personally.
Yeah, I think I don't disagree. Next fight, Edmund Shabazian versus Dalcha. Edmund Shabazian's going to beat Dalcha, get back on the winning side, and he's going to get a finish. Edmund, I'd consider him for the parlay, but I'm not going to put him in there. I am going to put Billy Q in my parlay, though. So Billy Q will be the third member, but I got Edmund. Just the price of minus 325 is a little too much for my blood, but yeah, Edmund by finish.
Edmund first round.
Yeah. All right. Next one. Jay Perrin, Raul Rosa. Sorry, I'm going to be fading Raul Rosa for the first couple fights here. Jay Perrin going to make me look like a fool. 29-28 decision for Jay Perrin.
It's going to be a big learning curve, I think, for Rosa. So, yeah, Jay Perrin.
Jay Perrin, when Jay Perrin is by far the best fighter you've fought in your career, I'm worried. And when you're 18 years old. Next fight, currently on the prelims, probably going to be moved to the main card. Rosenstruck. Jairzinho Rosenstruck versus Chris Daukaus. Jairzinho Rosenstruck early is KO live, but I think that Chris Daukaus is going to use the movement and the volume, and he's going to outpace Jairzinho to a decision.
We're agreeing a lot now, yeah. This decision from Daukaus as well.
Yep, and I was not agreeing last week. Next fight at 145, definitely one I expected to disagree on, but Bryce Mitchell versus Topuria, one of my favorite fights of the entire card, and I think it's a really good one. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think it's a close decision for Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, and he is currently plus 135.
Next one fight, I'm the least confident on as well, that one.
Yeah, next fight at 185, return of Darren Till taking on Dricus du Plessis here. I got Darren Till counter fighting, keeping the distance and everything. I agree. Furio minus 190 on Rosenstruck is way wide. I think Till puts on a clinic, keeps it on the feet, counter strikes his way to a decision.
Can you say that again?
Darren Till by decision.
Voice clip, lovely. Yeah, Till.
Horrible to say. Santiago Ponzinibbio and Lawler is out of there now. Apparently, I would have been Santiago, which would have been the fourth piece of the parlay, but we're on to the co-main event. Paddy Pimblett is putting away Jared Gordon, I think, in this one, and I think it's going to be by submission.
Yeah.
And Paddy is the fourth piece of the parlay. And in the main event, I have Jan Blachowicz shocking the MMA world and regaining his light heavyweight title by knockout in the third round of Magomed Ankalaev.
I'm going to go Ankalaev. I'm actually going to say, this is going to annoy you probably, Ankalaev wins 4 rounds.
No, it doesn't annoy me. I think it could easily be a
He'll
shutout.
win 2, 3, 4, and 5.
He might win all 5, man. Like that. Magomed is really good. It's almost frustrating how good he is.
I think he's going to stab that body and beat him up, man. I really do.
Right. I'm almost. Yeah, I get it. But at plus 200, I don't think again what he's built his career on. I don't buy it. So really quickly, I am going to put Mr. Shabazian in the 5-piece here, just because honestly, I've come down. It's going to hurt me, but I'm actually putting Buckley in my 5-piece parlay. So this really hurts, but the official 5-piece parlay here is Eric Silva, Ovin St. Preux, Billy Q, Joaquin Buckley, Paddy Pimblett.
That is a weird ass.
I mean, it is what it is. That 5-piece parlay, by the way, will score you a plus 1220. So put your McDonald's on that and skip your McDonald's this week or whatever. But this 5-piece parlay has been hitting at about a 55-60% clip for the year. So it's actually been hitting pretty strongly. 1220 is a little higher than usual. I'm going to have to go back and check out some of the breakdown. Really like Topuria this weekend. All good, Furio. We disagree all the time, and that's like honestly one of the reasons I like talking to you about it. We have Bryce, but it's a very close fight. So overall, I think this weekend there's many dogs that are live. Once again, I think it's a very close card. And yeah, any final thoughts before we say goodbye for today, Lewis?
No, other than thank God for Robbie Lawler being cancelled. Don't want to see him get hurt.
Yeah, I did not want, as much as I was confident in Ponzinibbio, I did not want to see Robbie Lawler get a shin to his head again. Hopefully, Robbie Lawler takes this as a sign that it's time to hang him up, because I just don't think we need to see him in there again. I think he's done. So overall, 282, one of the last cards of the year before we have our little break. On Wednesday, I will be back for a one of these cards where you can play every dog and probably profit. Yeah, Fury, you're right. Wednesday, I'll be back with the double breakdown day. I will be breaking down the LFA card on Friday, as well as the Bellator card. So join me around 2 p.m. on Wednesday. I'll be breaking down both those cards. So we got a good week of fights. Ari's on Thursday, so maybe I'll have some thoughts on those as well. But Lewis, you're slowly getting back into Norton here. It's good to have you back on the show. Always good to have you on. Anything you need to plug before we take off here?
Only as that I will be doing, as we did it last year for the start of the channel. I will be inviting you to the MMA Awards. We'll do 2022.
Absolutely, I will definitely be there.
Everyone head over to that. We don't know. We could do it on either channel. Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, doesn't matter to me either. But yeah, the MMA Awards will make the return. Another great Lewis and Dog show.
And if anyone wants to join them as well, just for like one or two of the awards, you can come in and out.
Right.
It'd be nice to have like random guys that actually watch the stream a lot. That'd be quite fun to get extra.
Yeah, we've had double-digit viewers again here today. I think that's like 10 or 15 shows in a row that we've had double-digit viewers for. And I'll give you guys credit. I'm going at different days, different times. I get it. But yeah, I'll be back on Wednesday with the LFA and Bellator breakdown shows. Brandon and I will be breaking those down. Go check out Norton MMA if you haven't already, but I assume everybody here has. Lewis, it's great to have you on, man. And yeah, enjoy the fights, everybody. I picked Darren Till, and I put Joaquin Buckley in my 5-piece parlay. So can't call me biased. All right. Take care.